Hi, let's take apart this failed Macintosh Powerbook 165C, the colour jobby 33-year-old laptop that I've seen in a previous video has a failed polarizer on the screen. The screen still works, the hard drive still works, still boots, everything's hunky-dory, except, yeah, the polarizer has the Vinegar Syndrome, it's called in the Mac community. Very common for these Power Macs. So I'm going to take the screen apart, see if I can get the polarizer out. It's probably like integral to the LCD, stuck on the front, whatever, so I don't expect it to be pretty, but I'll take it apart. Why not? Looks like we've got two screws down in here behind some caps. I can't readily find other screws. I'm not sure if that top comes off or not. Or has someone, oh no, it's just got a little chippity doodah on there, but anyway, I'll get back to you. So that comes up and probably spudger. Yeah, oh, well, yeah, that's really easy peasy lemon squeezy. Wow. So there it is. Oh yeah, I can see the Sharp logo up there. So we do know the Sharp part number for it apparently. There's our cold cathode backlight driver there, really old school. That still works. The backlight is still okay in it. And that's going down through this side and the other side there. And the other side there, we've got our flat flex going over. That looks in pretty good nick. So yeah, it looks like the screen's got to come out. And then all of the metal work's got to come off as well. Anyway, screws, I can get that out. Pop out of there nicely, is it? Yeah, it should do. Yeah, I can get access to the flat flex connector on this side over here. The CFL cable out there. Whoa, flippity doodah. Thank you very much. And yeah, oh, look at that. They got nice lead length on that. Beautiful. No problems. Oh, that's nice. I was hoping for that. I was hoping like I wouldn't have to, I was hoping it wouldn't be permanently attached here and then I'd have to open up the machine to actually get that out. But there you go. Bob's your uncle. Got the entire LCD assembly out. Nice. But yes, as is typical with these, they've got this, what I was afraid of. Yeah, we'll have to bend out the metal back tabs like this to get the back plate off. Oops, sorry. I think I was shooting this thing out of focus. Damn. Oh, well, sorry if it's been out of focus until now. It's in focus now. Anyway, there's the part number. Sharp LM64C06P. It's a direct replacement. Wonder if I can get lucky. Well, I just checked and it's 220 Aussie bucks for a, like, either new old stock or refurbished or whatever it is, replacement panel, the exact model number for this one. And I asked Grok, and apparently nobody has, like, done a modern replacement for this thing. It's 640 by 400. It's FSTN, so it's, you know, old school passive matrix stuff. And apparently, yeah, no one's bothered to do like a actual replacement for this with a modern screen. I guess the demand isn't out there. I mean, you know, technically it's possible. I'm sure you could probably get the data sheet or reverse engineer the protocol, and you know, it's definitely possible, but significant amount of work. But anyway, don't think anyone's done it yet. So anyway, I'll take it apart. We've got 4 screws here. We'll take the tabs off and we'll pull that off and see if we can remove the polarizer on it. But I think it's going to be stuck to the screen, so that could be a pain. So I'll just fold back all of these little clips. You can do it a few times before they fatigue and break, so no worries. All right, I think I got them all out. Let's lift it up and have a squeeze. Have a look under. Seems to be stuck a bit. There we go. Yep, cool bananas. Looks like we have our reflective back in here. There we go. Let's lift that off. Yeah, this looks like, yeah, that is reflective. There's your cold cathode lamps, top and bottom under there. Driving though, they still work pretty well. If you really needed to, you could replace those with a modern LED replacement. And I've done teardown videos on how these work before. that just goes into the side of the light pipe back in there. Effectively works as a light pipe and light scattering thing even across the back of the screen. Looks like I've got to take the tubes out first, otherwise it's not going to let me get that screen out, so I'll just lift that over the top, and then we've got access to, look at that, that is a thick boy. That is the light pipe for the back of there, the light scattering, and then you've got the scattering film on the top like that, which gives you a nice even backlight. But yeah, that's a chunky boy. Aha, there's where we can see, check it out. Hopefully you can see that. That's where the film has really peeled, like there's something, it looks like it's cracked or something. There's a big mark going, I'm not sure if this is going to show, I can't see it on my camcorder screen, but big mark going across like that, and like that, it's almost like it's cracked and it's had some impact on the screen. Yeah, I can't see if my camcorder screen can even see that, so hopefully you'll get that somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to take the whole lot out, flip that over, there we go. Oh, it's upside down. All the electrons are going to fall out. So let's put it this way, and there you have it. So we didn't actually have to get that light guide out of the back there, but anyway, there's our flat flex interface over there. Looks like we've got a hot bar attachment there. Looks like we've got our driver, our row driver chips there, and our column driver chips are going to be on the flip side of this board down the bottom here. So I'm not sure if you're going to... Oh, yeah, I can see it on the camcorder screen. There's that big splotchy mark there. So that looks like it's on the front polarizer. And those other marks we had on the back, the big cross marks, they seem to have been for... Oh, yeah, they're on the rear polarizer. So, yeah, there it is. Yeah, we can see that. So it looks like the front and rear polarizers are gonski. That kind of sucks. But Murphy is going to ensure that was the case. So anyway, I'm going to get my knife under here and see if I can peel off a front polarizer at all. It doesn't look to be any easy point where it's come unglued, because they are typically glued down. It would have fallen out already if it wasn't glued down. So man, I can't see that. Oh, this looks brutal. Hang on, I seem to have got this corner here. Okay, so once I've got that up, probably don't want to use metal. You want to use a spudger. So, don't know why that corner didn't come up, but this one has. All right, that's not too bad. Oh, still, it's a lot of force required. A lot of force required. It's not pretty. Wow, this is really stuck down. Oh, I really don't like this at all. Some shockingly bad. Trust me, I'm putting a lot of force under that. I'm trying to even out the force as much as I can, but oh, that is terrible, Muriel. You can see the glue in there. We just broke that. Yeah, it really is rather terrible. And I have to put a lot of force on that to try and get this film off. Ugh, it's hard to do behind the camera. I'll get back to you. Ah, bugger. Almost got it off in one sheet. And good news and bad news. The good news is I got it off what looks like, and there's just some filmy, yeah, that's actually, is that a glue layer? Oh, okay, hang on. I don't think we're finished yet, because I was going to say, the bad news was that I still see that big splotch that we saw on the screen. So that is still there. So that could be in the LCD, or it could still be. There is still some film left on here, so let me try and get that off. So the film is essentially delaminated, but it's just like you know, there's no polarizer stuff there. It's just, that's just like a plastic, clear plastic backing on it. Doesn't feel like glue. That is some sort of poly put the kettle on. Maybe time for some isopropyl. See if that might help. Ooh, tell you what. Yeah, that helps. Oh, not sure if you're seeing that, but yeah, it's like it's gooey stuff coming off. That's the glue. Oh, this is a real bugger now. You can really see that splotch there. So whether or not that's on this film or on the LCD, I think Murphy will ensure that it's on the LCD. I don't see how it's on this film, but I can't seem to, like, get that up anymore. It's a bad day when you can't get it up. Getting desperate. I'm using the knife. Might have been able to get something up there. Nah, just broke. Yep, can really tell why they call it the Vinegar Syndrome, because sure enough, smells a lot like vinegar. And just as Murphy's Law has predicted, I managed to get through the film, like scraping it off using some isopropyl and then scraping it off right through that splotchy pattern you can see there. Unfortunately, I've removed that film and the splotchy pattern is still there. So that means that splotchy pattern was not part of the polarizer, was not rot on the polarizer. It is rot in the, well, some sort of, you know, rot in the LCD itself. So, wah, 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 wah. I'm wasting my time going any further. Unfortunately, that is Kamagutsa. I'm not going to go into all the effort to get new polarizer film and fix this. I do have some polarizer film here from LCD teardowns that I could potentially, well, maybe not use because it's not like proper adhesive stuff or whatever, but it's kind of pointless because, well, the LCD has that rot on it. So unfortunately, nope, I'm going to have to leave it there. Oh yeah, I can really, when you really get it in the light, hang on, I'll see if I can get it in the reflective light. There we go. I think you can really see that splotch there with the overhead light in the background. It ain't pretty at all. That is really ugly rot on the LCD. And nope, it's Kamagutsa. Oh well, can't win them all. Bloody Murphy. Catch you next time.